this gospel of redemption, a gospel of hope, a gospel of restoration, a gospel of renewal, this very gospel of freedom, this very gospel of emancipation as only you ordained. That this very gospel must be preached, that mankind may be set free from the eternal damnation of the creation of the British. My goodness me, I want to remain in the spirit because we must worship heaven. We answer your name, O Lord of hosts. Everything about us is designed to offer glory unto thee. We have atoned for our sins last year. This very year we have not only atoned for our sins, we have spilled, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, O Lord of hosts, to have mercy upon us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day Chukwabiama believe we're whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word, which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist? You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy. Because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all these we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you.
Once again, I welcome each and every one of you to today's edition of Radio Biafra Hausa service, coming to you through Radio Biafra London. Before I go further, please, I would like to bring in my co-host today for them to make the initial introduction. Whether, please, I start from you.
Good afternoon, all dear friends. Good afternoon, Mazi, Jonathan. Good afternoon, Mazi, Metu, Selangwane Mekizedek. My name is Marian Heder, and I'll be speaking from Maryland in United States. I welcome you all to this phenomenal program today and wish all of us a good listening ears. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Mazi.
Yes. I hope I'm coming out clearly. Good evening, wonderful people of Biafra. And I think I have to commend our lovely brother, Mazi Jonathan. As many of you may know, my name is Mazi Obinna, popularly known as Melchizedek. I am saying a very wonderful good evening from the beautiful city of Vienna here in Austria. And I hope we are going to enjoy today's edition. And I shall also welcome those that are watching. Depending on your time zone, I'm also saying good morning, good afternoon, and good evening as we stand by to listen to the word of Chukwukabiam. I stand by, brother.
There were Mazi and Wada. We are here today in order to preach the gospel of emancipation, the gospel of freedom, more so the gospel of enlightenment. Therefore, please draw nearer to your listening devices. Invite your friends and well-wishers, even your enemies. That person gonna korokbo, please. It doesn't matter. This time around is not the time of making enemies. Bring him, call the person and nearer and say, please come and listen to the gospel. Kucha, now, if you people want to continue your private enmity, but do not deny anybody of this or listening to this hallowed platform. Our leader is Mazi Nnamdi Okuchukwu Kanu, who is in the enemy dungeon. Make no mistake about it. He is passing a process. He must be released. That is where we stand, and rightfully so. Therefore, we must continue in what we are doing. The restoration of Biafra is in the hands of all of us, both you that is listening, because the difference between us and others is this. You know, other people, other Nigerians, they cry, they lament. They cry and cry like rats. They don't do nothing. They hand it over to God, according to them. The situation over to God. But we, the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he has trained us in order to lament, not only lamenting, but we do something, rise up and do something. That is how real human beings act. because that brain, that thing inside the skull is not for fancy. It's not for fancy. As you know, the most intelligent human being in this world is making use of less than 10% of his brain capacity. Let me tell you. Do you understand what it means? The most intelligent human being in this planet Earth, according to science reports, is making use of less than 10% of his brain capacity. For you to understand that when you are not doing anything, when you are not using your brain, you are just wasted, you know, you are wasting yourself. Because everything we need is in the brain. The Creator put it in our brain, that place, that thing, that billions and billions of cells. That is where it is. And as I said before, that is the reason why you are dying, sleeping in, British Embassy, so that you don't miss the interview, so that they give you visa to go to London. These people are human beings like you and I. But the only thing is that they made use of their brains. That is the thing. We ourselves, we are disorganized. And that is why today we are going to treat this issue that has been bothering me. The cause of clannish behavior, that is clanism. I put it clanism in our land. The cause and remedy of clannish behavior in our land. Do you understand? I didn't say tribalism. Tribalism is normal. Let me tell you, this world is not only Africans are tribal. Human beings are tribal in nature. Let me tell you, whether you like it or not, that is the reality. That is the reality. We are tribal in nature. You cannot. That is why even among the developed world, they have nations. They are countries and nations. That is why you have a country as small as Iceland. You understand? Iceland is less than 500,000 in population. There are 365,000 in population. But they have their own country. They are their own country because they are tribal. It is tribe. Forget about the way it is being garnished in the modern world. Garnished as a nation. It's tribe. A French man will fight you if you force him that he is a German. He will disagree. He say, no, I'm a French person. That is it. It is tribe. So what I'm talking about today, what we shall discuss about today, is the cause of clannish behavior. That is clanism in our land and the remedy. When we talk about the cause, we also talk about the remedy. Therefore, please stay tuned, because no need it. That is the thing. Before we enter into the main business of the day, I want to read some news headlines. Some news headlines, please, before I enter into the main topic of the day. Okay, let me start here. There is one news I read. Appeal court jails Nigerian serving senator Nwa Oboshi 7 years, ordering winding up of his 2 companies over money laundering. I read this news and I read the body and I found out it's how much? 802 million naira. No, we are not supporting or siding evil or corrupt politicians or personnel, no. But we are making some points that is worth noting. And those points are, why is it that it's only one part? people from one part of the zoo called Nigeria, mostly the Igbos, are always, sentenced, jailed for corruption, for taking crumbs. It's a question that I have been asking, and I know that it is in the mouth of many people. People that are taking billions of naira and dollar. The Fulani people that are taking billions and millions of dollars and naira. No person touches them. They're untouchable. Do you see the country you call your own, where there is inequality, and inequality begets anarchy? Injustice begets anarchy. Do you understand? Every time, who did they jail in the UK? It's a Biafran. The past former governor. What is the name? What is the name of that governor? Governor of is it River State? Well, I don't know whether you remember. What is the name of that man that was jailed in the United Kingdom? I think he's still alive, or is dead.
Who? The man? You mean that was jailed for what?
Yes, he was jailed for corruption. He served jail terms in the United Kingdom. He was a former governor, I think of River State. Mazi, you remember the name?
I don't remember his name.
I think it's supposed to be Alamesia, if I'm not mistaken. The one that
Alamesia.
dressed like a woman to come back here.
Yes. I think somebody will inbox me now the name, please. Something that is in my mouth all the time. But we must continue.
Oh, James Ibori. Is it Ibori?
Ibori. Okay. Yes. James Ibori. Of course. Every time is the same set of people, the same people from one region, and they are showing you something, that these are the corrupt people. That is what they are showcasing to the world. But the main people that are carrying the country, wholesale, stealing, looting everything. They don't care. They're untouchable. The Fulani Caliphate, they can only run feudal system. They are not, they cannot take in or run a modern government. That is why they know, in a feudal system, it is about the landlord and the squatters. That is the truth. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. All this shenanigans they call democracy in Nigeria, that is rubbish. It is a feudal system where some people are the landlords. They own the land. They own the land. And they want you to just come to print every time you are there squatting, begging. IPOB, we have made up our mind and say, no, we cannot continue living this type of life. It's very shameful. Where they will live the main culprit, the big criminal, and they go searching for, people that take crumbs. Yes, all of them committed crime, but there are the kingpins. You see, during the time of El Chapo, Escobar, the American CIA, they have the foot soldiers of Escobar. They will catch you, with maybe 1 ton of cocaine. The American CIA, what they want is that the main man, because they know that he's the source. But in Nigeria, it's not the same thing. The reverse is the case. They only look for people, helpless people that are looking for crumbs, and cut them, whereas leaving the main stump, the main root, taproot. But we must continue. This man is a Biafran, he's Igbo Biafran from so-called Delta states. Maybe you ask him, he said, no, I'm a Deltan. What is your language? No, I don't, I'm South. Today, he is being sentenced to 7 years for, in Nigerian standard, stealing as little as 800 and or laundering as little as 805 million naira. Chicken change for Rufai is a chicken change for him. But somebody is suffering for it. That's it. That's a country you call your country. We must continue. Yes, it's James Ibori. Yes, some people have inboxed me. It's James Ibori. Okay. Let me go on to another, and I will rush it. You see, Kano State Hizbah officials shave young man's hair for being un-Islamic. This is normally a secular country. A secular country. They see your hair they shave your hair. You don't know which way Nigeria is, whether it is Islamic, or it is secular, or it is Hindu. You don't understand. Everything is confusion. That is why we clamor for the destruction of that zoo, honestly speaking. How can you say that you are in a secular country? Just like having a part of making Afghanistan to be maybe the 57th state of America. Is it possible? Is it possible? There will be clash of civilizations. That is it. But you are forced to live inside this place. Not for your interest, though. Do you understand? It is for the interest of the Creator. That is one thing we should understand. Nigeria is not serving the interest of any one of us. Nigeria is serving the interest of the Creator. The creators of Nigeria, they have or they had something in mind. That is why I used to blame Azikiwe. Where now Tega, he will be the president of one empire he did not even rule. Instead of starting from grassroots, no way. We must continue hammering this. Now, if you go to Kano, which is also, let's say, your country, part of your country, which you are a citizen to, you don't know what to do, they will cut your hand. In the same country, they destroy the alcoholic beverages in Kano. Whereas the government, the state government of Kano, they are benefiting from the VAT, value added tax, that is coming from that alcohol production in Lagos, in South. You understand? In Aba, in Onisha, anywhere in South. But you dare not come to Kano to consume it or sell it. Do you see the confusion we call a country? Are you seeing it? We must go on. And okay, we see what went on or what happened to many of our youths, officially 14, that were slaughtered for no reason in our mama. And this Sarkin Fulani of Imo State came up to defend that these are bandits, that they are hoodlums. And I say, so they are hoodlums, you need to kill them extrajudicially. Do you see? I played during my preamble the testimony of the person that did the wedding, traditional wedding, his lamentations. When you watch that young man, he is in agony. I'm telling you honestly, that people that came in that ceremony, his friends were all massacred. He was begging, why is it not him that was killed? And all those his friends and brothers and sisters left alone. You see, that is the person, this guy will be living with this agony all the rest of his life. You see, the problem in Nigeria is, that is why most Nigerians are mad, one way or the other. People think that madness is only when you start removing your shirts. No, it's a mad place. People are suffering internally. the injustice committed against them, there is no person to complain to, no place to go. So they bear it inside their mind, inside their heart. It will be worrying them. It is killing them little by little through stress. That is a country you want us to remain? God forbid bad thing. There is this news. There is why I want to just bring the headline, please, before we go into what we want to discuss today. It says Nigerian women team Super Falcons boycotts training on over unpaid bonuses ahead of a WAFCON 22 third place match. You understand? When you watch the women football, African women soccer competition going on in Morocco, watch Nigerian team. All are Southerners. Majority are Biafrans. More than 90% are Biafrans. You don't see any Fulani girl there. Just tell me, this type of injustice. Tell me. But the people at the helms of affairs that are where money is being remitted to are the Fulani agents. Do you understand? Is it a country we continue being? We are not good, okay. Biafrans are not good in any other thing. They will call us traders and you accept to your shame. Oh, you people are traders. Do you see it? Now, these women, our girls, our women are the ones going to showcase their body, working hard. When the trophy comes, I think they have carried it, 9 times. 9 times. Now, the glory will go to the Fulani Caliphate. Do you see what here we pinpoint things that you see as if it's not, maybe it's mundane. But all these things are the injustice we are bringing out. Biafrans are very good at best any other country, but except Nigeria. You understand? Our women are the players. They cannot, during the football, they cannot bring out their Fulani women girls and say, come and play. No. Because they say, oh no, it is against the after all, have you seen Afghan women? Afghan girls, they don't even allow them to go to school. Do you see what we are suffering? That Nigeria is a very big load on us. Imagine that these people are playing for Biafra, who we supposed to be. Imagine all of them, we are playing under Biafra, both men and women. How beautiful it would have been. It would have been. Would have been. carrying load. Do you understand? That you are forced to do what? To be at the back of that 911 lorry. The lorry might be traveling at the speed of 40 kilometers an hour, which is very good. You know, for maybe the lorry now is going on speed. But for you with your private car, in your private car, it's just like walking. You are following a car that is walking, marching. You understand? Because your car is meant to travel at least cruising speed 160 kilometers per hour. Whereas the lorry that is blocking you, that you are forced to follow, the maximum speed may be 60 kilometers an hour, and he is cruising at 30 kilometers. For the lorry, it is doing very great. Oh, going on 30 kilometers an hour is very great. But for you, you know, it is not, because it is not the same thing. So that is what Nigeria is for us. That is what we are suffering in Nigeria. Therefore, once we have restored our nation, Biafra, I'm telling you honestly, we will be on our normal speed. Because in Nigeria, they force us to go at the speed of the caliphate, which is very slow for us. Very, very, very slow for our liking, for who we are. I don't know. I'm trying to check whether, because my system is buffering. Let me check. I think my voice is coming out. Of course. So let us continue. Now, as I said before, we must go into the topic of the day, but I don't know whether Wada or Mazi, whether you have anything to say, to add, whether you have anything to add in the news headlines, which I have read, just the headlines. You want to add anything, please, you go on.
Not from me, Mazi.
Okay. Mazi Meto.
Yeah, just a quick one. Regarding the will I call them super female falcons or whichever name they answer. If you can remember the last time they came in here, that was a scenario that happened. It was here in Vienna. The same women, you know, they came to also have their training here, and unfortunately, they find themselves in a public train. Normally, a team supposed to have a provision of boss or whatever to carry them along, because they came for a tournament, and I believe there must be a provision of a vehicle for movement. But because of that corrupt nature in them, they find themselves in a public train
Because
that got themselves embarrassed. Yes, that got themselves embarrassed by a Biafran. No, now let me just put it in a way, because it has been one of us. And the same thing the guy was telling them, that many of you that are supporting this country, that are killing innocent souls, will also partake. Is every day the same scenario. And very unfortunate, like you said, a lot of them are from Biafra. I don't need to hesitate to ask, because that is the reason why our people need to wake up. Our people need to wake up. If our people can wake up once and for all, and begin to channel their energy towards restoring a country where they can be proud of, I believe you me, Nigeria will split under some seconds. And that is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu decided to continue to hammer and wake us up, so that we will now realize the mess we are into. I think, like I said, this is what I have to, add up for now.
Thank you, Mazi. Okay, as I said, today in our discussion, the topic of our discussion is the cause of clannish behavior, that is clanism, in our land, and the remedy. I will start by saying defining what clannish behavior is. It is tending to exclude others outside the group. Clannish people are inclined to associate exclusively with the members of their own group. Do you understand? Let me tell you, there is a difference between clan and the tribe. Total 12 states, 6 in the north, 3 in the east, and 3 in the west. Okay, why do I have to bring out this? For you to understand the beginning. Yes, we are regionalized regions according to the Nigeria setting originally. But from the region, because of, in order to destroy Biafra, listen, in 1967, Gowon turned the regions into states. And in order to make it look like, it's not only one side, he created 6 states in the north and 6 states in the south. East Central State is a former administrative division of Nigeria. East Central State. It was created on 27th May 1967 from parts of the eastern region and existed until 3rd of February 1976 when it was divided into 2 states, Anambra and Imo. Do you understand? So before we were from the east, we went to East Central State. The first capital of East Central State, listen attentively. The first capital of East Central State was Calabar. Do you understand? For those of you that are, oh, we are south, oh, yeah, that, Bunkum. It is Calabar, the first capital of East Central State. It was Calabar before it was later moved to Enugu. And the second capital was Umuahia. The region was officially divided in 1967 into 3 new states: the East Central States, River States, and Southeastern States. These people, they messed us up. If you study history on Omagane Isuge, always, honestly, we are suffering because of lack of knowledge. That is the thing. When you go deep into this East Central states, River State, Southeastern State, you see that they mix all of us. They know that we are the same. You understand? They mix all of us up because they are trying to find what they think to be the final solution to Igbos. They call it Igbo. That is the East, Biafrans. The same way Hitler wanted to find a lasting solution to the Jews. And a southeastern state of the place you call southeastern state today. Do you understand? The eastern region of Nigeria was geographically located in southeastern Nigeria. Okay. Okay. The eastern boundary lies between the border of Nigeria and Cameroon. Are you hearing? And the southern coast is along the Gulf of Guinea. Do you understand? Okay. In 1965, the region had a population of 12 million people, and some areas such as Owerri and those inhabited by the Anangs. Where are the Anangs? Where they call you today, South South. Those are the southeast, where the side they call even the southeastern states. In Akwa Ibom, Abak, Esien, Udim, Etim Ekbo, Eka, Ekote Ekpene, Obok Akara, Oruk Anam, Okanafium in Akwa Ibom State. All these, to mention but a few, these are the Owerri and this place inhabited by Anans. We are one of the most densely populated places in Africa, in West Africa, as of that time. Do you understand? Now, in order to isolate the people they call the people that are always revolutionists, let me put it like that. They started when they create this state, they create this region. After they say no, 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 we never. We never get. And many of us, we are in the world before these days we are created. But all of a sudden, you start identifying yourself with the state you know when it was born. It is absurd. Not only that, in our land today, you will see that somebody from Anambra, maybe from Oka or Agata, but he's living, he have lived all his lives in Aba, has his business, even has his houses in Aba. I'm giving an example. Now, and he merits, he is a person of honor and integrity. But when it comes to political position, maybe senator, senatorial position or election or chairman of governmentmanship, governorship, you see, if this person now goes to vie, then now our own people will remind him that so you have nothing to, you don't have anything, you don't have to come here to go back to Anambra. This thing I've been thinking about it, he have been giving me concern. That is why I brought it out today so that we treat it. What is the cause? We treat the cause first before going to the remedy. But contrary to other people, you will see somebody from Oyo State. Yes, the Yoruba, they have their own challenges, but let me tell you, you see somebody from Oyo State, origin from Oyo, but he will become a governor in Lagos State. He will vie for governorship of Lagos State and win it. No person will tell him, go back to Oyo where he come from. Are you talking about the North? And now someone from Sokoto, he can become a governor in Kano. No person will tell him, go back to your land in Sokoto. No. This is advancement on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. You understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of State. Imo State was created in 1976. But somebody that have been in Anambra before the war, established there, born children there, everything go, you take that is his land. But when vying for political office, they will remind him, now, become my co-host. I want you people to come in to put mouth into this. Wada, I want you to confess, please. What is the problem? Why do we behave like this? Why? Please come in, Wada.
Mazi, very interesting topic indeed. Mazi, for me, I'm going to go really way back. I'm glad that in your opening remark, you were able to bring in that every society, every individual, we are all tribalistic by nature. That is an absolute truth. It's something we call is inherent, that is innate in us, which is what we are born with. Just like there's an adage in Igbo dialect or Igbo language that says, Agochananna, Agawananne is the same thing. So the argument or the question you're asking is, why is it that some groups have been able to or are working towards completely overcoming theirs and we are stuck? That's how I'm summarizing what you say. The thing is this, let's go back. Before the creation of this new, we are split into these new states. We were all one people, Eastern Nigeria. So that gave us collective identity. We saw ourselves as one. And that was why people were not kind of kicking against it, this tribalistic, clannish thing. We saw ourselves as one people. Now the war came. The so-called civil war has done so much damage to us. I'm going to start by this. During the war, people went through a lot of trauma. I'm not looking at excuses here. But one thing we keep forgetting is that we human beings, every trauma we go through are embedded in our muscles. The muscles of human beings have memory. The brain have memory. After the whole, and then during this war, it was survival of the fittest. And it made people to begin to think, get into the mode of trying to survive individually as a person, not now as a society. Why am I invoking this? Because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man invoking this, because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man to create state, people are looking for comfort zones where you say this is my own because during the time of trauma, stress, I'm better off in my own cocoon. Now, what happened was the politicians came in and threw in the mix of all this, using this thing, this new thing we're having now, knowledge or mental knowledge or trauma we're going through, to perpetuate, to get over the masses, bringing this clanism. Oh, remember, this person is not your own, it's our own. So you must fight for me. You don't have to fight for that individual, because at the time of stress, that individual may not be for you or will not be for you. I'm going to be for you, even though they're not telling the truth. This is psychology they are using. So this is what has brought us this. It's not really the division of these states. I agree that it depends the division. It depends it. But it's not really that. It's because the so-called political elite found these two as an easy way to manipulate the rest of the society and have their ways. So I'm laying this foundation because I'm going to expand on them as we progress. But that's what I'm looking at, because since you mentioned this to me, I've been thinking about what could be the problem. That's the problem. And the stereotyping. Stereotyping, what do I mean? Oh, Anambra. Oh, Takandi Anambra neme. Just like that concept. Oh, onye mbise bata n'ụlọ gị, and you have agwo. Kill the onye mbise before agwo. When we begin to stereotype ourselves like this, they carry weight. We must understand that. That is why somebody like me, there was this lady that calls herself Mara. She sang a song about Imo State. I was really upset, because that's what she doesn't understand, the magnitude of what she was throwing out there. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is dangerous, because there is no particular society, even in a family, even when you are of the same parents, that will have the same personality. Because there is no particular society, even in a family, even when you are of the same parents, that will have the same personality. There's no particular society, even in a family, even when you are of the same parents. In our mind. Because anybody that, when you begin to think that you know it all, you are limiting your ability to bring in more knowledge, learning more. So we must get out from that concept that we know it all. We have to allow ourselves the room to learn more, learn new things, so that we can move on, remove those that are not helping us and bring in those that are helping us. That's one of the problems we're having, because we are so closed up, holding on to that, all that we have, whether that we are benefiting from it or not. We want to hold tight onto them because we are close people. Because these children we are having here are more liberal than us because of the society where they are. America is highly diversified society, whether anybody likes it or not. That's the truth. Highly, both in culture, in dialect, in language, because America is one society that allows you to come in with your culture, your values. They don't, they don't infringe on it. But they have set up the society in a way that no matter what culture, your ideology you bring in here, what they call American values transcends all. That's the problem we have. What we should be having as Igbo or Biafran, Igbo value, let me look at, deal with us, within our clans, has not been able to transcend all. We're still going into our niches and cocoons, and that's what we think we are safe, and that's what we want to play. This is why somebody like me strongly believe in this project Biafra. I would continue to do all I can to support it, promote it, as I pass it on to my child. Because it's one thing that can galvanize us. We see ourselves as Biafrans, and it doesn't take away my niche or my clan. I'm still part of it, but what should be paramount? What should come first should be the protection, the projection of Biafra. Until we as individuals begin to go beyond our own selfish interest, you said we're going to deal with the remedies. I'm going to leave the remedies for now. But that is what is creating that. You will see an Anambra person, Anambra are known for Onugbu. I'm using small things like that. Instead of us to glorify it, it doesn't matter. The most important is that what is the health benefit of eating Onugbu? What is the health benefit of eating Ofo? I'm using little things. They might sound like small, but I have to use it. Embrace it, because we were all one. All these things caters to the people we are when it comes to our values. And stop playing into our niches, because this is what the politicians are using. Because look at what is happening in Olu today. Since this man, because he invoked his name, since this man they call Odemba became the governor, imposed on us. Think about it. All his actions, his crazy and wicked actions, have been targeted within his own people, the Olu zone. He knows what he's doing, Mazi. Because he will come out, and some people will come out and be playing the card, just like the guy that call him Mozambique. He said, it's my brother. Because it's your brother, even when they ask you to go and kill, you go and kill. Why am I invoking this? Because if this guy tries all this nonsense he's doing to go to a place like Owerri, Pure, or go to Mbise, or he will not, immediately there'll be more outcry, because they will see him as somebody else. So he knows what he's doing. So this clan thing plays a role, and not, he can cut both ways. So what I'm trying to bring out here, that Uzodimba is getting away with this because of this issue we're talking about. He's destroying his people. But then they are reluctant to truly call him out. And the other people are looking at, oh, he's dealing with his people, he might as well deal with them. They forget that we are all one. We should rise against something that is negative and support all that is good, irrespective of where it's coming from. I'm going to yield for now as we continue to explore this discussion, Matt. Thank you.
What I understand in what you say, one of the main points is you talked about the post-war politics to disintegrate us the more. The after the war politics, because that war continued, but in a softer but very dangerous way, which they tried to make sure that they disintegrate us the more, playing this politics of clanism. Instead of removing it, instead of making sure that people became or continues being one people, now they made sure they put that sense of clanism. Oka person will see maybe somebody from Aguata in a different way now. This type of thing. So they increase the volume. That crack, they try to make it, turn it into a gully. That is one of the causes.
But Mazi, who are the people implementing it? I agree with it. Who are the people implementing? Because we've got to be honest to ourselves. Even, yes, they created the state. Because I listened to you. It wasn't only in former Eastern region they created states. Yes. They created states in the north. Everywhere. They created states in the middle belt. But these people have not allowed the creation of the state to be detrimental to their development. Rather, they are using it as an advancement. Because it is we that are implementing this clanism. We are the ones. It's not a strike force. Instead of using the creation of the state to better us, we have used it to turn against each other also because of dirty politics. Because people now are caring for their sole survival instead of the survival of their society or their community. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mazi Meto, please come in here. What do you think is the main cause of this clannish behavior, which I called primitive behavior in our land today, exhibited by our people? Go on, please.
Yes, I have a lot, but I will try to curtail my my ideas on this issue. But before I continue, I just want to let you know, and those that are watching, and at the same time listening, is these issues we are treating today is the reason why there is IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And is also the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS custody. Because one will wonder, a man without gun, without missile, nothing. He was not, he's not he has never been a military officer before. Maybe it's okay, he's a specialist in shooting guns. So let us now adopt him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the reason why many of us are today, waking up and be speaking like this. So that is the reason why in his speech he always tells us Biafra restoration is more than a nation. Biafra restoration is our religion. And it's not, for me, it's not surprising what we are passing through, because the reason why we are having this kind of segregation, it is serving the purpose upon which it was created. It's the same thing with religion and who brought it in our land. Like Mazi, you list of, you made mentions of states that were created, but you forgot to mention the people or the persons that created that state. Because if you come to in a land, you want to create a state, that must be a purpose inside you. You may decide to create one in your own community, but there's a reason. There's a reason why those states were created, and it is serving the purpose upon which they were created. Now, like in 1967, you made mention, Yakubu Gowon is the one in charge. He's not from my place. In 1976, Murtala Mohammed, responsible. In 1987, Ibrahim Babangida, responsible. In 1991 again, Ibrahim Babangida, responsible of those creation of state. In 1996, which is the last one, Sani Abacha. All of us, all of these people I made mention, they were involved in the genocide on our people. So how do you think they will come and create a state and want it to function or serve the purpose for them, for the betterment of our people? They call it politics of state creation, and they use it to deceive some of us by telling us the creation of states in Nigeria was anchored ostensibly on the need to extend governance. They tell people we are bringing governance closer to you people. So people, we are embracing those creations because one will wonder, somebody me and him in the same community before, they divided us. Now they say we are Ebony, with this one is Abia State, or this one now is Imo State. We are no more part of Imo State, but we do things together. We do our traditional way of life together. We do so many things together. Then out of a sudden, we were not answering different states. So that's the reason why those states were created. But let me now go a little bit back from the main topic, like we were talking about clan. For me, clan is a good thing. In life, it depends on how you handle things that visited you. The clan, like I love how you just summarize it. It's a smaller unit of a tribe. A clan is a social organization unit that has the oldest structure, grouping people who share a common value system, common origin, and surname at the same time. If you go to Europe, they have their own. You will see a name. Somebody is answering Mark Anthony, maybe McCarthy. These are Mark on its own is short form of is a family name. Is a family name. When you come to Europe here, we have McCarthy. That the family was represented by clan Katiaki. So there's nothing bad in having a clan. If you watch now, you go to the importance of this clan. you can begin to see that it's also a way of solving problem in a society. Society is organized entirely around this clan, and it has been viewed as one of the big extended family. The members share their common distant ancestors and assist each other during difficult times. It has nothing to do with division among people. It's always a problem solver. Now, in the case of Biafra land, we were massacred during the genocide. We were also massacred after the genocide because they couldn't achieve their aim totally because the aim was to wipe us out completely. That is no single soul will remain. But along the line, they couldn't succeed in achieving that their aim, and they now come with the state creation. And as they're creating the state, it doesn't end there. They still go inside those states created, begin to change some words, just like Umokoro, you become Rumokoro. You will see a able-bodied man will be shouting in front of you, Awike, I'm from Benin. And it is very sad and frustrating when you are looking upon a man, a full-fledged man, shouting in front of you, telling you, Awike, I am not Igbo. He's speaking the same language, the same everything you are speaking, no difference. The way, behavior is the same, way of doing things is the same. Some of the times, our traditional masquerade is the same. Like if you go to Calabar, you have their masquerade called Okonko. When you come to Imo State, we have Okonko. All the instruments are the same. Maybe the tone may differ, or what they beat may differ, but everything are the same. When you begin bring them, stand them together in front of you, you can't differentiate unless we speak. Which variation in language is not a problem. It doesn't stop people from understanding themselves. That is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a big threat. But many people don't understand. And that is why I begin to see people, when they say, give us action, give us action. I say, these people don't even know the reason why there is IPOB. IPOB is there to wake people up from their state of ignorance. IPOB is not a military wing. IPOB is to restructure our brain so that we will now begin to reason. And let me just tell you, the worst thing that happened to a man is a life without reasoning. That's the worst thing you can do as a man. For example, if you have met somebody that is suffering from complete stroke, total stroke, you ask him, do you want to eat? He said yes. Do you want to go to toilet? He said yes. Those things he doesn't need it to, but he continued reciprocating on everything you said. So he can't contribute towards the effective and the progress of life. So he is stagnant. So our people are stagnant, and this is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, continue speaking on the radio. Who doesn't understand him will think that you people have speak too much on this radio. Every time radio. They don't know what this man is crying. Every time he said the brain of a black people, the ability to reason is the problem. So how are you going to educate your brother? For instance, now we are talking about restoration of Biafra. In the middle of the day, somebody raised Idu. We are Idu. We are no more Biafra. We are now Idu. It's the same thing we are talking about segregation. Me and you have been pursuing about Biafra restoration. And we know the reason why we are pursuing this restoration of Biafra. It's not just because of the name. We want to be free. We want to govern ourselves. Somebody you think is educated, somebody that may be, attaching professor or doctor in his name, you have to give him some respect. He now turn in the middle of the night and tell you, my brother, that's Biafra we have been fighting since. Is wrong. We are now Idu. So in my own case, illiteracy is a disease, and that is the reason why we are paying attention to those divisions. It's everywhere, like our sister said. It's here in my place. Even here. That's a race they call the gypsies here. I don't know. I think that's the English name. Tigorena is the German word. They came from
Romania.
India. They came from India. It's a clan in India. They were chased out and they ran away. Do you know they scattered everywhere in the world today? They were scattered everywhere. We were having a meeting somewhere when I was still in the school. And I saw them gathering together. They called themselves gypsies. Then there was one of them that the father is an Austrian. The father is an Austrian, but the mother is from those tribes. You know, when the lady came inside them, they told her, you are not the real gypsy. You are mixed up. So it's everywhere. The purpose of
let me interject a bit. Like, okay. Yes, it's everywhere. But in our own case, for example, I will give it a very simple example. Somebody from Imo State can never be governor of Anambra State. Somebody from Ebonyi can never vie for political office in Abia. Because it is our people now will now tell you, oh, now they will remind you where you come. It doesn't matter, you are the best, you have spent all your life in that place.
Exactly.
Now they remind you who you are, go back. You know that thing kills the spirit of a human being.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is what. Go on, please.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. So the solution, or let us continue talking about the causes, is because we failed to understand who we are. The history, our history has been hidden from us. We don't know who we are. That is the problem. And it's not all about going to school, because we have a lot of graduates from Nigerian University today. They study the history, and they always add the history and international relations, and they don't even know their own history, but they will be quick in studying the history of other African countries. So it's a systematic way of suppressing our people. Even in our school system, they don't allow us to even talk about the history of our own self. You can see that you cannot even talk about Biafra in the open as it stands today. You cannot even raise the flag, let alone talking about that in a public domain. So these are the disease that they're infected in our people. It's not like that in the north, like you said. It's not like that in the north. Like I told you, they created those things, but the purpose upon which they created this kind of little will I call it I will call it is a kind of segregating us with a purpose in their own side. It was not like that. They still see themselves one. Like let me give you an example. In the last election they contested, you can believe with me that Atiku won that election. You can believe with me in that. But if I tell you they have gone back and said, nah, we are the same. No need of seeing two brothers in the court of law dragging about position. Let's just relax. Next time we will now support you. You will become. That's why you see Atiku coming out again, because he wants to reclaim that aspiration and promises the kingsmen promised them. So then they understood themselves very well. So they are the ones that divided us. So forget about creating Kaduna, creating this one. They know the reason why they created those things, so that it will now look as if it's not only our people, they are divided by giving them states. And not only that, after creation of those states, they now came again and now have what you call geopolitical zone. Tying these people together. This one is south, this one is the southeast. So those things are systematic. The only thing that I know that has been pinned us down is illiteracy, and that is the reason why Mazi is a threat. Let me confess. Do you know that since that day you talked about this with me, the thing has been pushing me. I need to elaborate this. I now begin to think the religion is not also the only problem. This is also a major problem, and we are not seeing it. We make use of it, but we are not seeing it. But we not think as if we are doing ourselves own good. Like what you see, give an instance in other states. It's not like that. It's also in Imo State. They will tell you Olu zone, Owere zone, and Olu man has rule. Let a man govern this time around. And as they are doing it, they are now begin to bring development in their own place, forgetting that all of us are the same people. Before we were divided. I remember when Atiku was also governor of Imo State. You can see how he's bringing development in Olu zone. And the same thing now. People are crying about this Muslim ticket, Christian ticket. Had it been we are one, I tell you, those things will not come in. By telling you we are Muslim, we are Christians. These are a way of running away from the realities of life that in Nigeria we are not one. But coming to our own land, let me just summarize. And while I wait for the second segment, in summary, IPOB and the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the solution towards this divide and rule tactics, I call it. It's a divide and rule tactics. We abuse the aim of a tribe and at the same time a clan. It's not a bad thing to have a clan, but we abuse it based on the name given to it by those that wanted to divide us. I rest my case here and I wait for second segment. If you also have a question, you can ask me or clarification.
Yeah, Mazi, I will definitely. I have a question.
Okay, sure.
I totally agree, Mazi Metu, with everything that have been said so far from each and every one of us. The question I'm asking, I would like to have an answer. I know you touched a little bit, you cannot do it. Who are these people implementing this clannish behavior in our own society? Because we all agree. Because when we just look at it this way, oh, they created this state to divide us even more. It's not the whole truth. Because these states were not only created in our own region, they were created in other regions in Nigeria. The argument I'm making, or the question I'm asking, why is it that our own people are the ones that are using this state creation to against us? Because I have listened to you, Mazi Metu. I know you're.
I have an answer. I have an answer to that.
Yes, I'm coming, my brother. Let me finish. Hold your thought. I know. I've listened to you, my brother. I know you're a science student. You're an engineer. So, but what I'm going to say, I know that if where we are, you and I are, even as an engineer, you must have taken psychology 101. So what I'm going to say is going to hinge on that, especially social psychology. The argument I'm making up here is that we cannot continue to exonerate ourselves even when we are the problem. Because there is something called conflict in life. When conflict happens, whether it's disaster, whether it's even a personal conflict, how you come out of that conflict depends on what you do, how you look at that conflict. If you see that conflict as a moment or a situation for you to emerge, to resolve that issue and emerge on the other side favorably, conflict becomes a good thing for you. But on the other hand, if you look at the same conflict, instead of trying to resolve that issue, solve that issue, and use it to build up for a better tomorrow, you sit down, you neglect it, you turn it inward, it becomes a negative thing against you. Why I'm using conflict as this is this. For example, when you have a natural disaster, maybe there was an earthquake, things happen, like even Japan, a couple of years ago, they had a tsunami that destroyed that place. I can guarantee you if you see a place like Nigeria, this thing happened, that place would have been deserted by now. Nobody will be talking about them. But if you go to that place, that tsunami happened, it's a brand new society with modern things, even better than it was. It was a conflict, but they turned it forward instead of inward. So my argument, because we have to pinpoint that we are the ones doing this to ourselves. Yet the states we are created, it doesn't matter the mindset of who created it, they want to divide us even more. Why are we allowing ourselves to be divided? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I think I made mention of that.
After you, I will say something also. Go on.
Okay. Our sister, yes, I did a little bit of psychology. I think they also have different school of psychology, both studies of mental process and at the same time studies of the unconscious mind. Even also in philosophy, we have also school of thought. Those places are the place people go and bring their ideas and begin to debate on it. Like I said, illiteracy is a disease, and I use this analogy about the worst thing that can happen to a man is a life without citizenship. And if you come to our own land, I am telling you, Mazi Nnamdi is an eye opener. We don't have such like what you ask me. I agree with you. I cannot exonerate our people. You can see the kind of people that are governing us. Before you become something, you will go defy yourself. So they don't even fight. Our forefathers, I think I have to also lay the blame on our fathers because they didn't do their job very well. I have to admit. Trying to educate us on who we are, because the best education is the one you get from your family. It's not even the one you get, which we call them, high institutions these days. Our people, our fathers, they didn't do their job very well. That is why we are having a burden. This struggle is having a burden. Trying to wake our people up. Had it been we are enlightened, all these things is something we will begin to ask ourselves. And this is the reason why when I started, I told you that's the reason why we have IPO and Mazi Nnamdi, because the moment we came on board, you cannot begin to see how people are questioning issues. All this Polarisation, it has been there before, coming gradually. Had it been is not IPO, nobody will be even knowing that Ruga means to Islamize us. Nobody will talk about even how to defend ourselves. Forget about people now shouting, IPOB, where are you? Do this one, do that one. It's because we came and now we begin to enlighten our people on the on the issues that is challenging them. They don't know. He who does not know and that does not know that he does not know is a fool. So how if we are ignorant or something, we may not know what it means. Like this issue of clan. Our brother Rezi, the thing has never come to my mind, but immediately he said it, he hit me up because my brain is always open to accept, things that I have been, finding that this might be something that is hindering us. We are practicing it, not the Fulani that are practicing it. But these are the purpose. When you talk about something like that, it is not in their place. The purpose of, if you go now, I've never been to North before, so that let me not begin to say something that I'm not sure. But I can bet it that when you go to their side, how they divided them, the regions they brought together and call it maybe whether it's Kaduna or Kano. If you check it very well, you can see that there's not a conflicting issues among them, and they are not even practicing it because they are the ones that are they are not even coming to take power from us for them to become something. But those they impose on us, and they don't care about teaching us who we are because they are doing a job for them, and that is the reason why we never believe in any election today. Because many of them that are governing us, ranging from those that call themselves Ohanes, you can see last time Ohanes ran to the north to begin to beg them. Even when conversating with the northern people, they even denigrate us with their children that they should not look on ordinary man on the street in the Biafran land. They should look upon them individuals. So just to tell you that we are not looking upon them this time around because they failed us. They are the reason why we are lost today. Because had they been they do their job very well, we would have taken it where they stop. But we are starting from the scratch, and that is why it is as if it's training us. I will not deny you, my sister. You are right. I cannot tell you that we are angel and then put every blame on the Fulani that divided our regions. We didn't do our job very well. That is why we are feeling the pain now. That is all I have to say for now, brother.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Let me say something concerning this also. Yes, we should understand, like before the war, prior to the war, though we have our normal clans, but we never have that consciousness, that clannish consciousness, the type we are having now. The problem is, we should ask why. Because it is serving a purpose. Some people instituted it. Some people instituted it for a purpose. We should understand that the creation of 6 states first in 1967, though it touched the north, but the main purpose is to divide Biafra, to make people no more be ones. No, people will no more be looking ourselves as one. Rather, we'll be looking ourselves as I'm from Cross River. Oh, I'm from Rivers. That is the main purpose. Though they touch the north, this is politics, pure. So that it will not look like, it is only our side they divided. Mazi, you have said it before. I concur with you. Now, one thing we should know is this. The worst thing that can happen to a people is to impose their representatives. Those that are leading, so-called leading them, their political elites, to impose them on them. That is the worst thing that can happen to a people. It is happening to Africa in general. Let me say it. Black Africa in general. Through this shenanigan they call democracy, which they are doing in Africa. They are serving the purpose of the Europeans, the West. So that is why, number one, Africa is backwards generally. Now, in our own land, in Nigeria is a British created. That is number one, serving the purpose of Britain. Benefits, number one beneficiary is the British. That is number one. Now, when they come to our land, in Biafra land, we see the so-called political representatives in our land are imposed. If they are not imposed, if we bring our own, for example, they will go and corrupt the person. The person will first of all go and pay allegiance to Sokoto Caliphate first. That is the what I said. Take it from here today. It is the worst thing that will happen to a people. Now, in that case, once they go, the foreigner will start telling them that look, we impose on them that make sure that it is only you play your own lane. Your lane is only Imo. Do you understand? Do not allow Anambra person to come to your side. You know that consciousness, because consciousness arises more when it enters into politics, national politics. They put our disintegration, they put our division as number one priority in Nigerian politics. If you don't know it today as you are listening to me. Our disintegrate, our division, dividing into pieces. Division, not only Imo, for Olo, not only Olo, now this thing is the number one priority of Nigeria today. That is it. Because in order to disintegrate us more and more, now they raise this awareness, clannish awareness. There's no other way they can do it than to bring this awareness. I could remember one time there was something he was talking about, trying to defend some part of one part in something in a region in South, I think in Iguacha or something like that. Do you see the way they shouted him down? I watched that video and I watch it. I say, my goodness me. The way these people don't go there, that is not that. They have people that represent them. So these are the masters talking. They don't want you to go there. And that thing also makes people watching that episode, the whole Nigeria, the whole people, you see the person, maybe it's an Igbo, but it's in Ikwere. They'll say, no, this man, you see, he want to encroach in our own side. So we are Ikwere, we are not Igbo. Do you see what they want to achieve? You know, the division, what they put in Biafra land, what they want to destroy, or the destruction of Biafra, which is their top priority till today. It is the reason why, even if they are destroying the whole of Nigeria, it doesn't matter to them. That is it. It doesn't matter to them as long as Biafra is being destroyed alongside. The other day, I said that the hatred of Igbo man in Nigeria is used as a blind spot by the caliphate in order to continue, fulfilling their agenda in the whole of Nigeria indigenous population. Any person that wants to watch and say, but the Fulani are killing, they will say, no. Hey, are you trying to watch us? Look, Igbo, they will overrule you, or don't worry. And the people will continue in their ignoramus, watching the Igbos. This is an example. So, after the war, we ignore, just like Mazi Metu, you rightly said, our fathers, they made mistake by going to sleep, thinking that the war is over. They didn't know that it was a battle. The battle was over. One battle was over. The war continued, but in a more soft way, but highly brutal. Soft war, this division, and it touches our brain. Look at any person that is going to, how is it that any Igbo governorship candidate, before election, he will travel many times to Sokoto. What is he looking there? How many Sokoto governorship candidates that have come to Onitsha, or have come to Enugu, or have come to Iguacha to seek for blessing? Have you seen that? Which means the people that they are imposing on us, as we are shouting as our political elites, they are foreign imposed. If they are not foreign imposed, if we think that we can bring out somebody, we bring out somebody. Look at Soludo, for example. Oh, you bring him out, they will go and they know how to corrupt him. If you want to stay here, be like this, like this. The same way countries in Africa are doing. Oh, you are practicing democracy, right? The candidate will first of all, if it is Anglophone, you first of all, you'll be traveling to 10 Downing Street. first, always, he is there before being elected. If it is francophone, he would be traveling to France first. What are they doing there? Because there is something they are imposing, telling them that look at how you are going to run. If you accept, we make you president. So they are imposing things on us, and that is in the wider Africa. But in our own, in Nigeria, our so-called governors, senators, it is foreign imposed by the Fulani Caliphate. They impose them on us. That is one of the main points also, which I want to bring up. I don't know whether you have to, or whether you wanted to say something before we enter into the
what I wanted to say is, Mazi, I'm listening to us. I'm here. We are all saying the same thing or agreeing on this, the way we are navigating our argument. But there's something I'm really will want us to narrow and highlight it very well. We have been speaking it. All of us have touched on it, even as you spoke now. But I would like us to, because that's one of the fundamentals of the problem. So I'm going to come forth as a question to you, Mazi, with all due respect. These clannish behaviors or these clans, were they existing before the Civil War?
Okay. If I will give you my own answer, I will tell you that it is existing, but not in this level.
That's so simple. So okay. Clans have been existing.
These have been existing, but not in this level.
We have been. I'm talking about clans as a structure. Because
before you continue, please let me just add this. Yes, clan is part of human nature. That is it. Mm-hmm. There are things that are parts of human being. Also, there are things you modify, either due to time changes. You try to shed things and try to add things to suit the time. Before, do you know Ayo Eta? He's from present-day Cross River State, but he was the leader of the Eastern government of Nigeria as from 1951. Ayo Eta. That time, there was no consciousness of, he's from Calabar man. How can Calabar man come? He was sitting in Enugu, the capital of Eastern Nigeria. There was we had clans there, but that he never reached this extent. The same way we have clans now, even now, but you have the right to buy your land. For example, as an Olo person, you can buy land in Oka or we do your business there. Do you know you never reach to this extent? What is trending is once you enter political vie for political office anywhere, they would make sure they check they check your background. Are you an indigene? Are you from Oka? Why do you want to become Oka local government chairman? Why? They will use it to attack you. That consciousness was not there at that time before, but somebody rose this consciousness for a purpose, and the purpose is what we are witnessing today, so that we be politically killing ourselves. No person will not progress. Go on, Wada, please.
I agree, but again, there's something I'm trying to bring out. Before the war, we all had clans. And let me borrow your word right now. Consciously, we were not using it to live as a society in a destructive way. Rather, we used it to live as a society in a construction of building up the society. Like an example I pointed out, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Before the Civil War, our people were collectively coming together to support somebody they see or they saw any kind of potential in that person. That's collectivism. And they were not going into clans. Doesn't matter. It could be from another village, and that community will come together and promote that individual. So what I'm trying to get at is because we are trying to get to the root cause. When did they start? What happened? Just like in Achebe said, things fall apart. When did they fall apart? What created it? I'm still going back to the war issue, even before the creation of state. I agree the creation of state widened the gap, but it all started because even recent not too long ago, somebody like Buhari made a statement. I believe it was Buhari that made it, or Gowan. I think it was Gowan that made a statement that if I have found this unique, I'm going to call it unique quality or character of an Igbo man, I wouldn't have invested so much money buying weaponry to fight them. I would have used them against themselves, and that would have cost me less. That's the root cause of our problem, Mazi. Because what happened that before the Civil War, we were working as a unit, even though we had clans, even though we are conscious of our clanism, but we did not use it against us. Rather, it was a building block for us. We saw us that when we help the community we are in, when we build our community, we are building everybody. It was not individualistic. We were not individualistic in our behavior. Something happened during the war because of the stress of the war, what we went through, the trauma. People began to work individually. Even this thing that is happening today, where people will go and point at one another to be sold or to be killed, it started during the war. These are stories I had, and they were real. Because they wanted to be relevant, or they wanted to be recognized, or they wanted to be part of the ruling, whatever the entity, or they wanted not to go to the military. I'm talking about Biafran land. They didn't want to go to the military, so they sell out their neighbor. Even like you have a little dispute with one another, you go and tell that person, say, Sobotua, or you will go and, you are angry at your neighbor, you go and pinpoint the son so that they will go to war, they be killed there. It all started because it was the stress. When you are going through stress, I use the word stress, but in a heavy way, a lot of the animalistic behavior of human being will come out. This is where we begin to have this individualistic behavior, where everybody wanted to survive because it became survival of the fittest. That's where you have saboteurs. They began to come in. And what happened? At the end of the war, the society watched and realized or found out that those who went against the collective struggle of the people were rewarded. And those who stand in the trenches were relegated. Of course, Nigerian government did that to divide us. But that's when it began. So people began to realize that, I really don't have to come in and fight a common war with everybody. I can fend for myself. I can fend for my family. I can fend for my clan. It started as a seed. Where we are now is a giant Iroko tree. That's why we are seeing the fruit is bearing. It didn't just start with because even with the creation of state, our people, some of our people, the so-called elite, we are part of it. They advocated for it. So that was why I asked the question. Yes, the creation of state did this, but what states were created from the mindset of our so-called enemies, the Northerners. Their intention might be to divide us, but the implementation of this division is us that are doing it, which is what we must call out so that we can make the amends and move forward. Because other people were divided too. I'm not saying they don't have anything against us. That's when it started. Let me tell you, Mazi, this is my theory. I may be wrong. Thank God for what Mazi Hamadike has done so far. This umbrella called Biafra Move Project. And there's a reason why. I don't know him. I have not met him. I've never spoken to him in my life. But I have paid attention to his speeches. I have paid attention to his behavior. People have been clamoring. Give us order. Give us weapons. Mazi, this is my own deduction. May I be wrong? Mazi Hamadike knows why he continued to pound the message through Radio Biafra. What you all are doing. Continue, because you have to mentally get the people where you need them to be before they can move as a group. Look at even the little, so within 1 year, Mazi is not here. Look at the splinter groups. These are the people who you want to go to war with. It's impossible. Now, people are saying that the Biafran war only lasted for 3 years. That, from my perspective, that was enormous, considering with what we had or what we did not have, and how the whole world came against us. We were able to survive those 3 years because we fought as one people, irrespective of the some of those who became saboteurs. We saw ourselves as one people. We did not fight that war clan by clan. Mazi, I'm telling you, despite this thing Mazi has been doing or started under this umbrella of Biafran project, and I believe that is why he continues to propagate the message until mentally, psychologically, philosophically we are there. If we should go to war today, we wouldn't even last 6 months. Because look at just the project we have, trying to organize ourselves. You have autopiloters, you have IDU, you have this, that. We can't even agree. Because now, we don't understand that we have to fight as one front. We are looking at ourselves as individuals. What can I benefit? Not what I can do for the society, as a society, or as a community to succeed. We are fighting individual war, which our enemies have found out during the war. They discovered that we had these tendencies. Even though we were not practicing it then, they were able to pull it up and give back to it. That is where I'm going. Because we have to deal with it. And because some of these people that even look at this thing that happened in our mama, this happening as it may be. Tell me why it should be only people from Oru, if I thought it's only people from all the people from Oru that are protesting. This thing should have been an outrage where everybody in Biafran land, whether you're a youth, whether you're a mother, because women gave birth to these children. Where are our mothers who go to dance for Uzodema? Where are they? It's their children that are being killed. But they don't see those children as their own because it has not directly impacted them. We're speaking about clanism. Take it to any level, to whatever level you see it manifesting. Because before, when we were working as one, we had something called about Biafran women protest or riot, whatever you call it. It was not Igbo, it was not Angwa people alone. It was not just Igbo people alone. It was all the units we are calling Biafra today. They saw that injustice to one is injustice to all. But today, we don't see ourselves that way. Because this thing that happened in our mama should have risen male and female, old and young, brother and, male and, come out to protest. But people are quiet. Some people are quiet and they, kind of withdrawn like, it's not my child. These are the issues we are dealing with. And we must come correct it. And that's what Biafra is bringing to us, the project. And that is why we must continue to fight and fend up these fools, psychologically and mentally, that are refused to make that U-turn 180 degrees and understand that we can only fight as a unit and succeed, that this monster that has been unleashed on us must be put back in the box. That's what I'm going to say for now, man.
Thank you. Mazi Meto, please, I want you to come in now. Okay, you want to say something, and also you address what you think is the solution.
I want to add up. I think we are saying the same thing, even though we are coming from different angles. I think I quite also agree with our sister. We should not lay blames to those who are called agent of division. But I just want us to know something. Let me use this particular word. I think I had it when I was doing agriculture science in secondary school days. It is called pollination. And, it's a transfer of a pollen from, a male plant to a female, which we call stigma of a plant, which fertilization and production of seed later, take place. And those things have an agent of pollination, which can be of wind, it can be, animals, it may be bees or butterflies. What we are passing through, like our brother said, it has clan. How I wish we know the audience at the same time. The purpose of a clan is a very wonderful thing, and at the same time, tribe, like we rightly started from the beginning, is a smaller unit of a tribe. Clan helps the tribe to fulfill its obligation, because it's just like what we see today. This will begin to tell you that we have been practicing government even before polarization, because it's from this we have a chief of each clan according to the instruction received from the tribal chief. The only difference between the tribe and the clan is that clan cannot marry themselves, and that is why they are called exogamous. So it is something external.
In our
because
own
we have believed that,
because some clans like the Caliphate, the Fulani, they marry themselves. Go on, please.
Exactly. So I'm coming to our own. So because I know my own clan, we say we share a common ancestral ancestor. I mean, we share common ancestral lineage. So that restricts us from marrying each other. But when you come to tribe, it's not a problem. And the reason why I'm bringing this thing closer is we have to understand that clan is a very nice thing if the purpose is utilized. I agree that we need it, and but we abuse it. Why? Because of poverty, because of hunger, because of intimidation after the war. Because we are brutally intimidated that we must do as they were instructed, and then coupled with hunger, everybody wants to survive. Everybody wants to survive. So you can be able to divide one another in order to achieve your aim. Just like what happened in Imo State today. The young man that said it's from the man that people are pointing fingers at. I listened to his audio. He said that Hope Uzodinma is his brother. And when you begin to listen to him, you yourself from the same place, you will say, is he not my own brother? So they have already divided us into this section, and the purpose upon which they were created is functioning. So the energy we should be putting now is how do we bring our people out from such? Because bringing them out is an eye-opening. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have all these solutions. That is why when he started, he started with Osu. It's also another way of dividing us. All these Osukas say these people is Osu. We are not going to marry you because you're Osu. So all these things, there are a lot of things. Even when we started this Biafran struggle, we do see a lot of people. They say, who's their coordinator? Is he from Anambra? No, let a deputy become an Imo State man. Let this one become a new good person. We destroy all those things. Igbo hate themselves. Igbo love money. There's so many things implanted in us to divide us. So many. Today, many people are asking us, why will Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be leader? And then at that time, before, and deputy will be almost, let them give you somebody from another riverine area. Because we don't see ourselves as one. So the thing now, energy we should be putting is, how do we educate our people so that they will understand that the purpose of the clan, original purpose, is for good. And now we abuse it. And how are we going to let them know to come out of that disease? Because it's a disease that is destroying our people.
Yes.
Of course. So,
Mazi Jonathan, I think you can take it off from
okay, yeah. Yes, of course. What you say, you're right. Everything or anything that serves right or serves for positive purposes could also be turned negative. That is the thing. As I used to say, I have said several times that we human beings, let me tell you, the advancement we made today as humans, it is not something that maybe the knowledge fell down from another planet. No. It is something that has been there. Right from the origin, as long as human being was created or started being human being with brains. Now, anything that you need to know is already there. But the issue now is for you to discover it. That is the thing. Now, many things like this clan, which we are talking about, there is no way we can run away from it. It is something that is there. It's just like answering your father's name. It is there. But using it now, people can use something in order to try to destroy you. Something that you can also use on the positive side. Now, people can turn it as a weapon so that to destroy you. That is why we are treating this clanism. About this clanism today, we started it. And now we want to go to the solution, the remedy. We have been speaking or saying the same thing. We have been saying the same thing. Some people might say, no, our tradition, we are Republican by nature. You cannot, we have autonomous community. So you cannot go to another autonomous community and become this and that. No, that is true. But in the world, the progressive world, there are some traditions that you will see it is out of place. Now you try to do what? To shade it or modify it, modification for your advantage, and you continue moving. If you see something that is good from other traditions, also even foreign tradition, now you try to imbibe it and continue. That is how human beings have been going on. We shouldn't stay one place as stagnant and say, no, this is how we do it, and this is how, this and that. As I said, before the war, there have been clans. We can't deny it. That is who we are. But the political consciousness of using clan or political consciousness of clanism has not been there. It was arose after the war in order to be used as a weapon. First of all, division of states or creation of states, though in every part of Nigeria, but they have a purpose of doing it to destroy us. The same way, before independence, they set up Willings Commission on the rights of minority, Willings Minority Commission. You know, they continue hammering minority in Biafra land right from time. Many people now thought, because that is political consciousness, they arose. It goes through the media, it goes through the structure of the leadership, political leadership that is in place. Now, once they continue hammering minority, people now think about minority as only in Biafra land. When they talk about minority tribe, they talk about Biafra land. But little the people know that there are more tribes in the north, more than in the south, on the whole of south. But when you talk about many tribes, where there are many tribes, people only think of Biafra land. Oh, you have Ibibio, you have this, you have that. Even they will call clans even tribe, because they have been hammering it. The political consciousness of it has been, hyped through the media, through the leadership or leadership structure, to the extent that subconsciously people started acting like that. In the north, there are many more tribes in the north. Many more tribes that if they mention it, you think that you never even know that they exist, but they are in the north. You understand? So now, what is the solution? What is the remedy? Let us come to the remedy of this clanism in our land. Because of the political structure or the leadership or how things were, they were able to eradicate or almost eradicate this in the north. Because clanization or clanism in the north didn't serve their, is not serving any positive purpose for the creators of Nigeria. So they have to bring it to Biafra land in order to destroy us. Whereas in the north, they made sure that, a person from Borno State, as long as he's living in Kaduna, can become a governor or a politician in Kaduna. Whereas all these type of things cannot happen in our land. Now, what is the solution, the remedy to this? Please, and I think, Mazi, you can go on from there. The solution, now we come to the solution.
Yes. The solution is, I know it may be sound easy by saying, but it's a very hard task. It's an enlightenment. And I think if somebody eats, they were talking about reading and acquiring knowledge. Hunger is in our land as we are speaking. Hunger is a big factor. They used to tie our people down. And the educational system there is not something to write home about. You can see that somebody will study history in their school and he cannot even say the history of his own community, but he's a historian. And you ask yourself, how do they manage to finish up there? Like as me and you speaking, over getting to a year now, they're on strike. And when they open, the lecturer will just ask them money for handouts. They will pay and they will pass them. So the challenges is very, very hard. They're very hard. I think I will not shy away of saying it. Many of us even realize that the assertion they told us that Mungo Park discovered River Niger. Many of us carry that in up to our old age. You know, is now we begin to reason as how can a river in our backyard, you know, somebody, a white man, come from somewhere and discover. The same thing we were talking about religion. That was we have a way of life before the missionaries came, and today your own brother may even sue you to court, you know, for embracing your own way of life and you know, pushing away the other one, which we are slaughtered for us to become. So let us continue enlightening our people with you know, facts and evidence and hoping, because sometimes it's hard. Just like Mazi, if you have never followed him from the onset, you would think he's arrogant the way he, you know, preaches gospel. Because as a way you continue preaching to people like this, you yourself, you will have a tendency of running mad, because in your own eyes, it's very easy for people to see. The handwriting is everywhere. Just like they told us the purpose of creating state is to bring development in our community. And today now, you can see that our communities are nothing to write home about. There's no drinking water, there's no electricity. But still, people who can swear to defend it. I was watching one pastor, you know, he brought one guy out and asked him, where are you from? I think even his name, every his name is, you know, sounding every name, even the first name, everything, the village. But they asked him, are you an Igbo? He said, no. Where are you? Say he's from South. How are you going to educate such person? We have a lot of them in our society. We have a lot of them, especially at this time they know that we want to enlighten them, to bring them out. Many of the politicians bought handsets and at the same time be recharging them. Go on the Facebook, begin to attack them, begin to curse them. And many of us don't understand. And they bear our names. Many people that are doing this, and many of them even bear our names. And you yourself that is teaching will get frustrated. So the solution is for us to keep on hammering, notwithstanding the challenges that we'll be getting, notwithstanding the response we get from our people. And we cannot even shine away by admitting first that yes, it's our fault. Because one thing is accept that we are in a mess. Because if you cannot accept your fault, if you cannot accept the challenges and also absorb it as part of your problem, you can't bring the solution. So we have assumed that we have failed to do the things we're supposed to do. Our fathers have failed to educate us to this extent. At least this one is not by acquiring knowledge in the high institution. This is common sense, so that we know who we are, we realize who we are, and to realize that we should be fighting to, you know, defend one another. We shouldn't be seeing ourselves differently, ranging from the way we were before the missionaries and at the same time even the colonial masters came. We are the same people doing things together. No problem. Even the music we sing today is not bringing us closer. Everything has scattered. Am I talking about the movie, the act, everything? What you watch, the environment you stay, the people around you. There's a lot of problem everywhere. So the more we are fighting, we still have other factors bringing people back, and people are hungry. You must not forget. So that is why the more we are talking, they will say, this one you are preaching about us. Let us know that we are one another. Is it what I will eat? Let me go and collect 1,000 from that politician who said that we want to accommodate our own people first. We are all losers. Let us live over the people, even though that I know that over the man will bring a development in our land. Let us give it that my brother are living next to me. At least when he's passing in our community, people will know that we have produced a governor. So it's illiteracy, brother. Let me not overflow issues. I can't begin to tell you this is exactly what we need to do. Outside, continue educating our people with facts and figures, letting them know the reason why we are here and the need for us to wake up. Enlightenment. I have to put it in this word. Enlightenment.
Thank you, my brother. Enlightenment. Wanda, please, over to you. What do you think is the remedy, the solution to this mess of clannism?
Yeah, I'm going to build. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go on.
I'm going to build up on what Mazi Melchizedek said, because the truth is always naked. I think you are the one who told that story when the truth had to be naked. I think it was in one of your submissions. So what I'm going to say is orientation, reorientation. I'm using these two words. When I use the word reorientation is who we were. Because I recall from the story I heard from my parents, In the olden days, what we call olden days, that's the time of my parents and my grandfathers. I wasn't opportune to meet any of my I met my grandmother from my mother's side. But the stories they told me, or she told me, was that in those days, people looked out for one another. In fact, there was nothing like armed robbers. You had petites, which always existed in any society. So if somebody was coming to rob you, all you had to do was to raise an alarm. That is, in the house in the night. And my people, the way they raise alarm is onye follows Oga. Once you say that, the community knows that you're being attacked. Everybody will come out and defend you, and whoever the attacker will run away. Flip it to what is happening now. Instead of defending ourselves, we are the ones, some of us, going and pointing hands to each other for elimination. Again, what has been happening in Olu State, in Olu Zone, since this man called Ozodimba came in? You have this group of people, they call them a Bubago, even the one that Mozambique today, his name is firing all over the social media. He has his group. For whatever reason, because I listened to a tape that was played on Mazi Chineke today. When you pay attention, you could deduce one or two things. Some of these people that are pointing at as either IPOB members, ESM members, or bandits, as people they have personal issues with. So now they're using the opportunity to point at them as ESN and they eliminate it. This was not our behavior before. Like what I pointed out, we used to protect one another. So it's reorientation for us to know who we were. That's why I say I'm building up on what Metu said. And orientation to understand that a closed-up society, when you have your mind closed up and you don't allow new things that will improve your life or quality of your life to come in, you are like a stagnant water. It's a matter of time that water will start smelling, will evaporate, and dry up. And we don't want to get there. So this orientation must start from our immediate family, not even clan. From we as parents, start educating our children. Because most of us, where we are, it's not easy. Igbo say that it's not easy to teach an old man how to eat with the right hand if the person has already been eating with the left hand. Okay, or to teach somebody who has been eating with the right hand to start eating with the left hand at both ages. It's not easy. But you can educate a child because at that moment they're pliable. They can choose whatever they're multiple, they're able to multitask, and because their brain is still firing, trying to connect to all the neurons, they are capable of doing multiple things. And anything you bring to them, they're very, very pliable, unlike an adult who has already made in their way. Somebody like me, one of the things I've been teaching my child is, yes, you are Igbo, you are Igbo extraction, even though you're born in America. You are an Igbo girl. Secondly, I don't want you to marry based on the person is from, my place or so. Marry somebody that can take care of you, somebody you are in love with. Little things like this, people might think it does not matter. It does matter. It carries weight a lot because marriages have been one of the things that any society used to, bring themselves together and, rise above certain ethnic or clannish behavior. So we must start educating ourselves, our children. All these things parents will say, hey, don't marry that girl, she's from Anambra. Oh, don't marry that girl, she's from Imo State. We got to start eliminating them and let our child know that it doesn't matter. I will prefer you to marry a Biafran. It doesn't matter where the person comes from, as long as the person is a Biafran. Let's start from there. What is important is the quality of the individual. Is this person going to love and take care of you? That is what matters to somebody like me as a parent, because even from my own experiences, some Igbo people I met, they did not treat me better than some other people I met that were not Igbos. So it's not about because in every society, any clan, you have good, bad, and ugly people. Let's start from there, letting our children know that there is no clan that is better than the other. There is no soup that is better than the other. It's all it's all about us. The mindset of the individual. We start from things like that, grooming our children, because even where I am in United States, we have this problem. That is when I started what I'm saying today. I've been saying it. Anybody that knows me or hears my voice will know. I have been projecting this thing. You come here, we have all these meetings. Then parents will come home after the meeting. In the presence of their children, they will start discussing negatively about members of their meeting. The children that are born overseas have a different mindset because of the society they are. When you begin to talk negative about a particular family, then in future, the children of that family, a child from that family and my child meet together, maybe they fall in love. It brings a wage. Because this child will be, that's the family that I had my mother discussing with my auntie that they are not good people. Let's eliminate those things. The children we are having overseas are different from our mindset. Some of us have the ability to castigate somebody behind closed doors, and when you see the person, you present this good front, smiling like all is well. These children we are having now and overseas are not like that. So what I'm trying to say, let our orientation start from home. Let's continue to project this image of oneness in truth and in honesty. Let's not see ourselves as enemies. Let's see, we may have our differences. It's a natural thing. Just like when I started, I said that even in families, when you are from a family, I'm from a family of 8 surviving children, we have our different personalities. But at the end of the day, they are my siblings. There are certain things I cannot arrive to do to them or think negative about them. Do I have some differences with them? Yes, I do, because I'm human and I'm an individual as a person. But I always think about the collectiveness of the family, what can project or move the family forward. Let's begin to cultivate this appetite, this behavior. Nobody can do it for us. None. So let's start from our children as the new generation begin to instill this. This is where the Biafran project is important to me. Again, I invoke it. And something that HOD did recently in May, this last May, when they proposed that we should start having seminars during our May event so that we can start educating our children. Because this fight we are doing, if we are honest to ourselves, it's like there's a particular age group that are into this fight. What happens? We must continue to educate our children to carry the mantle. How do you do that? Bring them in, seminars, talk to them, let them on their own, be creative, speak during these occasions. These kids are brilliant, so that we can bring them into the fold, so that as we are transitioning out, that is life how it is, they will carry the mantle. There will be no gap. Like what Brother Metu said, and you said it too. Our parents did not educate us. There's a wide gap that was left, and we are trying to fill in that gap. That is one of the difficulties we are facing today. We cannot do the same with our children. The new generation, the ones coming behind us, we must bring them along through education, through any form of education, information passed on to them, so that they can know who they are. They can begin to be provoked and begin to build unity among themselves, wherever they are. The Jews were scattered and they were disseminated until they got to that awakening where they realized that the Russian Jew is not different from the Jew from Iran. It's not different from the Jew that was scattered in Germany or wherever, or France. So they came to that place where they stopped to be like when the Jews in Japan, I'm just giving an example, say in Ukraine, we are being marginalized. You keep quiet because, I'm in America. You cannot advocate for them. They got to that point where they saw themselves as one. And that was when they were able to rise above their enemies and came together as one and begin to work as Jews, irrespective whether they were Russian Jews who spoke a different dialect because of language, because they were born in Russia. That's the language they learned. The language and the dialect were no more a barrier. What they were looking at, the nation as one people, they began to work together. This is what we must do. It doesn't matter whether I'm Anambra, I am Imo, I'm a Jaw, I'm a Shekiri. We must rise above and see this. That is where Biafran project is heavy for me. That's why it's a religion, because the two things that can effectively divide people and mess them up is religion and tribalism or clanism, as we are treating clanism today. These two things are like opioid of life because they're personal. They deal with our emotions. So we must begin to arise above them. But how? Education, seminars, as we continue to talk on Radio Biafra, in the things we do, not just the things we say. When you see yourselves, acknowledge yourselves as one people and treat us as one people. And then, because I'm going to interject this. I know there are people that even when you try to bring them home or bring them in as one, they will mess you up. I've been there. I've been experienced that. But that should not stop you from continuing your crusade if you truly believe in it. That's one of the things Biafra has come to give us. And that is why we must support Biafra. I will yield for now.
We shall go into a few minutes break, but before we do that, please, I want to also add this and make this reiteration. What you people have said about the solution, enlightenment, education. You know, when we talk about education, the informal education we receive at home is the most powerful. Because as a grown-up, you start living the legacy of your parents, what your father told you, the way he acted, what he have been telling you, and what your mother have been telling you, the way you have been educated right from beginning. Because that is what is your, your foundation. The formal education we have in Nigeria, we Biafrans, we don't have authority over it because the caliphate is at the helms of affairs in Nigeria. So the formal education, we try our best, but until Biafra comes. But the only thing is this informal education. This is one of the most effective weapons used by the Jews in order to keep their generations towards the same goal. Let me tell you, in every persecution, in anything, the Jews have been educating their children, their young ones, that look, no matter that you are from Austro-Hungarian, you are born here, you remember first you are a Jew. Do you understand? That is basically what he tells your child. That thing you tell your child at tender age, he grew up with, he will never depart from it. A time will come, he will start acting on it. He will start acting on his brain. He will start remembering. Whether you are still alive or not, he will say, oh, my father, my parents, my mother told me this, and this is truth. Do you see it? How powerful informal education is. Our family education, parental education, what we tell our children, it matters a lot. Because don't think that, oh, they don't listen, or because they know as a child they can behave, but later age, all those things they will start remembering it. The Jews, they did it. No matter what, they will take their children. Remember, you're a Jew. As a Jew, you must attend the kibbutz, the synagogue. It doesn't matter that you are born here in Portugal. It doesn't matter that you are speaking Spanish. But remember, you come from a place. Do you understand? And this is our tradition. Because they take their religion as their tradition. Our tradition is this: you must wear Talmud, you must wash your hand before eating. All those their traditions. You must go to prayers on Saturday. So the child will grow up like that and have that sense of belonging in that tribe. That is how it goes. And that is why the Jews were not wiped off the face of earth, because they stayed the highest tribe, or the longest, most conquered tribe that still came back to regain their land. It is the Jews. More than 2,000 years they have been conquered, swept everywhere in the world. They were outside, but they kept moving as a people. From time to time they were killed. From time to time, they were slaughtered in one part of Europe or the other. The Jews in Ukraine will say, "Oh, it's happening. Oh, they are killing the Jews of Spain." They refer them. Oh, they. Now, sometime or the other, they will still persecute them. Others will say, "Oh, it is the Jews of Ukraine. They are killing. Oh, the Jews of Russia, they are killing." Here we are solid with our French country. It's our country, France. No problem. So that is their problem. Let them sort it out over there in Russia. A time will come also, it will rotate and the persecution will come to them, the Jews of France. But the apex of the whole thing was during the Second World War, because when you fail to understand That understanding, the knowledge will come to you, but in a hard way. When all of them were targeted at the same time, spontaneously, the Jews of Europe were targeted by Hitler everywhere in Europe, hunting them like animals, wild animals. And now all of them suffer the same thing. That is what also galvanized our first war, 1967, because of the killing in 1966. Because that war, it was not something programmed. You understand? Had it been even Ojukwu refused to lead them, they said Ojukwu didn't even want to. He didn't want to declare Biafra. He didn't want to go. But the people organized and they sent message to our late general, Odimego Ojukwu, and said, "Look, if you don't want to lead us, it's paramount now. There is nothing you can do about it. We are the people. If you don't want to lead us to declare Biafra, we will look for another person and he will do it. And we relegate you to the background." And he has no option than to do it. Because everybody was massacred. It touched everybody. But every clan of Biafra land. We are targeted, slaughtered in the north. So there's nothing to do than it's a must. You know, suffering galvanized people, common suffering. Let us not wait until he comes in another bigger way. That is what we preach here. I concur with our brother talking about enlightenment. That is what we preach here all the time. We say it every time. It is not easy. You can change people's fortune very easily. You can give somebody money and therefore turn him from poor person into a rich person overnight. But the hardest thing is to change the ideology, orientation, to reorient somebody. Something he grew up to know, to believe. All of a sudden, you start telling him that no, this is not the right thing. He will say, he will find it very difficult. But here we are, we continue doing it because our leader started it. I will open our lines, but before that, I will go, or we shall go into a few minutes break so that when we come back, our lines will open so that people will call in to aid their views also. Views, or if there is a question that we could answer, you can ask. But before that, please don't go away. I'll be right back.
What is your name? Stand up. Frank what?
Osakwe.
What part of Delta do you come from?
Ndokwa.
Huh?
Ndokwa.
God bless you. What is the another name?
Chika Dibie.
Huh?
Chika Dibie.
Chika Dibie.
Yes, sir.
Are you an Igbo person?
I'm from South.
Are you an Igbo person?
No, sir.
Onye ready cable. He said your son name is what?
Osakwe.
Your Igbo name is what?
Chika Dibie.
Are you an Igbo?
No.
Praise God. What is come in your native language?
Bia.
What is go in your native language?
Gawa.
In your language, what is hand?
Aka.
Are you an Igbo person?
South, sir.
Eri. Amen and amen. Wait. In your native language, they have 4 market days, right? Can you mention the 4 market days?
Eke, Nkwo, Orie, and Afo.
Amen. I don't know. Praise the Lord. When I see these kind of people, I shed tears. What the Civil War did to us. People denying whom they are originally. In Delta State, Delta is a mixed state. There are Ijos. You know that is Ijos?
Yes, sir.
There are people called Ichekris, even in Delta.
Yes, sir.
There are Wari people.
Yes, sir.
There are Irobo. Isoko.
Yeah.
And there are Igbos, indigenes of Igbo, carved in Delta. Some of them carved in even Benue. Some of them carved in rivers. So your name is Igbo. Osakwe is Igbo. Surname is Igbo. Then they ask whether it's Igbo. He say no. You believe in Igbo for market days, Eke, Orie, Afonko, and he say you're not Igbo. South. Chineke mena ye better. Go and tell your people, Delta North, which is Asaba, Ibuzo, Ogbachuku, Iseluku, Ubuluku, Opanam. These are complete Igbo people carved in Delta. That they carve you in South does not mean there are some Ijo people that are in rivers. Some Ijo are also in Delta. Does it make them that they are not the same people? I hope you are being corrected today. Eh?
Yes, sir.
And next time, if somebody asks you your name, mention Chikadi, they're not Frank. Frank should be silent. Even though Frank is the one, because that is one you will recognize. That's why the Holy Ghost mentioned Frank. And if the man of God prophesy, Frank, you have accident, right?
Yes, sir.
And you better have accident.
Yes, sir.
And because the prophecy came and we pray again, that's why you survive. Or less, it will have led to your death. Are you hearing me? It is painful when some people don't know their roots, whom you are. After the Civil War, many tried to deny whom they are in order to fit in the society. You speak Igbo. The same thing you call Bia is my language. Your name, everything is the same. And he said, you are not. You are South. In geographic map in the whole world, there's nothing like South. And the South is recently they gave you South. Do you know South has not been there?
Yes, sir.
Southeast is just recent. So tomorrow they may give you another name and you answer. May the Lord bless you. I just want to tell you whom you are. The 4 market days is Igbo 4 market days. Eke, Orie, Afo, Unko. For you to believe in it shows you are Igbo. For your name, your surname is Igbo, your native name is Igbo, shows you are. And go and Google Delta. How many tribes that make up Delta? Google will tell you that Delta North are complete Igbo people. God bless you. I need to correct because our work here is not only spiritual, to redirect even physical. And I think I'll redirect you now. Yeah?
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra Hausa service coming to you through Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Malo province of Biafra land. And I am here with Wada Merienti Heather and Mazi Obinna, popularly known as Metusel and Wande Mekite Sedek. We must continue. Today we are putting our legs on discussions concerning clanism in our land, the cause of clannish behavior in our land and the remedy. I think you have had it, and I will open our lines. But do not forget, tomorrow I will also be here with some members of the Directorate of States tomorrow by 7 p.m. Biafra time. Mazi Isaiah Oba and others, please, in order to make some pronouncements and the continuation of pronouncements about what is happening in our land. Please, tomorrow being Saturday, do not miss the program. Our lines are now open. Our direct line is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. Please, when you call, try to go straight to the point. Also, if you have any question concerning the issue treated, do not hesitate to ask it, please. I have a first caller who is from Signal. Caller on Signal. Can you hear me? You are the first caller. Welcome to the program. Caller on Signal. Are you there? What is happening? Why? Caller on Signal once again. Can you hear me? It seems you are having some. No. You can call back, please. Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Welcome to the program. Caller on WhatsApp.
I can hear you, Professor Jonathan. How are you, my brother?
My fellow scavenger. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, you're speaking to your brother, who's the scavenger. I'm calling from Africa, South Africa. I greet three of your panel. Mazi, to tell you honestly, what you talk today, we heard what you talk, and we agreed. And all that you told us today is exactly what is happening in our land. And the one you educate us about clannish, what clannish have done to us, and how we have hijacked it and even use it to abuse ourselves and use it to kill ourselves. So I agree with our brother Metusela that is enlightenment. That is the only way to go now. Because to me, as we are going into the enlightenment, we must take it as that we all have sinned and short glory of God. That is what we want to say here. That we all have sinned and come short of our culture and everything. And that is where the enlightenment is going to start from anywhere, from grassroots to the top. Because I can't even tell you that somebody who graduated in the University of California or Oxford University, if you bring him to Biafra land now, he don't know exactly what his clan is all about. Because he didn't even know it before he left Nigeria and go to that United States to study. So we must all of us take off our clothes, take off our suit, take off even our qualification and everything, and start from afresh, so that the enlightenment can start from the bottom to the top. Because everything have spoiled, things have spoiled, because they made this even clannish to them that it became enticement. For you to be a head of a clannish, your clan now, you must be somebody from Oxford University. You must be somebody who have a politician. For instance, tomorrow, when Hope Uzodinma is old, he will head the clan of his community. How do you expect that his community to be, that clan to look like? Because he's bringing in another thing. But the answer is Biafra. I think that is the only way that can help us to come back to our root. Biafra, the answer. And that answer is our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They must release our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a prisoner of conscience, who give us hope. That is the all we need now, so that we can rise and claim our position in this world, and even get our dignity back, because we are lost, totally lost. Thank you, Mazi Jonathan, for taking my call. You're speaking to Biafrans. Biafrans, I love you. IPOB members, you are my blood.
There were Mazi, the scavenger, co-scavenger. There were. I have a call or a caller on signal. Can you hear me now? Caller on signal.
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir. Good evening, sir.
And there, well, welcome to the program.
Udochukwu dere gị
Ikwara
ọrụ
gị.
m na-arụ azịneme otu anyị ga-esi akwụghachi ọnụ ụgwọ. My contribution in this topic is that we should not forget that during the colonial era came with a doctrine. And they did not come with one doctrine. It came with several doctrines. And also, this Zik, when he came back from Lagos, after they failed him from that politics, he came and removed this, what they call him, Etaya or something like that. And when he went back, there is something like that, yeah. So when he went back, he told his people that they removed him. So that sectionalism and tribalism and all of this started playing into our mind. And if you watch this present day politics, just like the answer I just passed, when they tried everything to divide everybody without saying, they went into religion and went into tribalism. That Igbos we are destroying Yoruba properties. So all those things have been the tools which the British installed in us. And just like during the Bible days, when sin came into Adam and Eve, and that sin wasn't murder, but when they gave birth to Cain and Abel, they now bring in murder, which one of them killed one each other. One could have been a seed that have been sowed in us, but as the time progresses, it now germinates these different factors that we are seeing now, which somebody from Enugu and all of these things will start differentiating each other. Even within families, somebody from the same village, he will tell his daughter not to marry from this other church. They are the same people. Then that very church that he's telling his daughter not to marry from, that church come from abroad. And the same abroad that he came from, they marry each other without bringing church issues within them. Then if you now say it's ignorant, then in that same abroad, yeah, are there not people that have that is ignorant? So you see, these things are, we ourselves, we have been open to, to several things that have destroyed us. Then when you come to talk about the remedy, how we can, come back from this very position that we are into, I think the only remedy is IPOB. Because in IPOB here, I don't even know where anybody come from. I only see everybody here as Biafra. Because we only have one goal, which is to restore our nation, where we can live free and grow to as in our potentials. Just like my brother in the studio there, that Metu said, when we sat down now, if it's not this Biafran issue we're talking of, we sat down and start talking religion, you can see that we are not in the same line. But all those things are being relegated on the background. We now brought to what is more concerned, what is more important, which is our survivor. So you see, and we should be thankful that we have, that God loves us by bringing Mazi and the Kano. If not, I'm sorry, because even this enlightenment we get from these stations here. If you see people that is not open, that is not in a position to hear these things, how they talk, how they reason, you feel scared. You feel scared. Okay, it's just like this what they call it election in Nigeria. Okay, we have the other person that they call P2B. He's educated though. Who told you that tell you that standard is not standard sense. One can be educated, but he doesn't have sense. He doesn't have common sense. You are battling. You can't even refer to people that have lived before you, how they ended. And you see your own brother who is in the right path. How many people vote in Nigeria? Igbos or worldwide is about 70 million. And I'm telling you, it's not up to even 500,000 that is putting mind in Nigerian issues. All of us are all being focused in going out from this very contraction. But he's undermining it. You see? Tomorrow you will now come and say that, the British did this and did that and all of these things. Yes, there is no, you cannot take that away. But this present time now that we have the awareness, we have the information, what are we doing with it? So I really thank God for, having people like you, because what I've gotten from this struggle since 2012 till now, I'm telling you, if it's what money can buy, I cannot afford it.
Of course.
I talk to people that is far learned, people that is far, placed in the society. They sit down and listen to me because I have facts. I have all of this thing. And where did I get it from? This very place, IPOB, Radio Biafra. So I say, may God bless all of you, give you more wisdom. Let the mind of God be revealed unto all of you, especially you, Mazi, Chinedu, Jonathan. I say, everything you lay your hands, it will be double blessing upon double blessing, especially when it comes to knowledge. You'll be blessed beyond where you are today. Thank you so much.
There were Mazi. Remain blessed. We are in this together. One camaraderie. IPOB is one family. And that is how we move. Caller on WhatsApp, welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Callers on direct line, showering, calling, flooding. But once okay, let me pick caller on WhatsApp. Hold on. Let me try to pick call on direct line. Caller on direct line, can you hear me? Welcome to the program.
I'm hearing you.
Mazi, Welito Lugi Biko, Enonora.
I'm hearing you.
Go on, please. Go on, please. You're on air.
Please, I'm thanking all of you, please. You people are doing wonderful. Please, what I want to say, I just want to go straight to the point.
Mazi, go on. The whole world is hearing you. Go on.
The issue of division, I strongly believe that the Polarisation, or if I may say, Nigerian government, they started it from the beginning, step by step. What we are experiencing today is the effect of the creation. That first creation of truth is number one step. That is the tool for division, or I may even call it a tool for extinction. They started the creation to divide us. The effect of that division keep on going and going and going until today have entered into our house. They now introduce another tool, which is a democratic party system, which will now use the so-called election. They create the word. They now enter into the villages and create different words, creating democratic party. In a house, the husband and the wife might be in a different party. And hence they are in different parties. They are now soliciting for the party and no longer for the interest of the people. And this party system was put there to use a small group of people to control the rest of the people. And that is why Nigerian government is conducting what is called union associations. Now, see what is happening in university system today. They have unions. They are being using to control the rest of the people. By executive members, they will put their stools into the executive member, and they have been using the money to strike after strike. They will not solve their problem. They will give the executive member money. The executive member will come back and tell the rest of the people, we are trying to solve it. The reason that this one is lingering is because the Fulani legacy has tempered the executive member system. They are not even involved with them. They now temper the system because they have introduced a new payment which regenerates all their looting. They have ghost workers. These ghost workers, they will pay into the university system in bulk. now use it to pay their workers, which means they will pay people they are not even employed. People that their name is only there, but they are not in the office. The existing number will carry the money. But the system has, because of the lack of the looting has been going on in Nigeria, there is no longer money. The federal government is trying to compel some different money from different places. So now, they now target the federal government and communities in terms of school. And another thing is that they told you that they don't want Western education. And because they don't want Western education, they put the same people who are not interested in Western education into the Ministry of Education, which is the man called Adam. He is the Minister of Education in Nigeria, the Sulanema, who said they don't want the education. Now, if the man is in the minister, as the Minister of Education, how do you think that he will foster and propagate education in Nigeria? Now, that one is by the way. Let us go back to the plan. The clan issue is this. Nigerian government has tried to use this division and even enter and penetrate even to the village in the of taking away our Igwe, introducing PGs. If you go to different villages now, PG and Igwe is ranking position. This clan system we had before, whereby an Igwe will have chiefs in different villages, in different clans, which means anytime there's any issue in the village, the whole chief will go to Igwe's house and have a meeting, and they go back and conduct and they organize the whole village and take whatever the Igwe has told them to do. They do it. But this is a political system has entered. Nobody is receiving the Igwe is being compromised. They are now looking onto the politician instead of politician looking onto you. They now enter into our roots, and all these things are from the beginning. The same system they introduced by the division, they now bring it into Denver. So what we are saying today is the effect of that same situation, that same division of state you are hearing. So you are very, very much right that it is the question of state that started all these things. Because before, Igwe are the one in charge in the whole village, but today Igwe are no longer in charge. The governor can take away the certificate of Igwe. Take it away, Igwe will no longer be recognized. Somebody from abroad will come back and become Igwe who doesn't even know anything. That is what I'm trying to say.
Very sad indeed. There, Mazi, thank you very much. You made a valid point. The thing, what we are fighting, our leader said, is a monstrous war. A monstrous war. The hardest thing in this planet Earth. The restoration of Biafra. He knows why. Because this enlightenment from the grassroots, the damage on us is too enormous. But we shall never shy away from doing the job. I have a caller on WhatsApp. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mazi, Jonathan Chinedu.
There, well, thank you for waiting patiently for 14 minutes almost. Go on, please.
That is my priority, to wait patiently, because Radio Biafra is everything to me. Because Radio Biafra have opened my eyes a lot. Mazi, Jonathan Chinedu, I remember the Chukwuemeka calling from United Arab Emirates. Mazi Metu, my mentor, I greet you. Mazi Wada Miriam, I greet you. I greet you all, Umuchineke. I'm thank Chukwuokika Abiyama, and I thank our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Without our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I don't know what will be our fate today. Because these people have totally destroyed us, finish. These people have totally destroyed us, finish. Because this divide and rule is a very big weapon. This divide and rule, both in government, both in religion. They use this weapon to do what? To finish our race. Now, they use religion to divide everybody. When it comes in a religion now, the Catholic, we see Anglican as a different people. a Pentecostal as a different people. The Pentecostal people, when you come in a family that you have the people that are going in different churches, that will be a very big war. And they are propagating one thing, the same one heaven, all of them are propagating. But we will see a very big division among themselves. Likewise in government. They created all these states to make sure they divide us, create everything, this one Niger Delta, this one Delta. But we are the same people. We are Eastern region from the beginning. That is what our people need to understand. I'm not going to take too much of time. You people have said it all. We must keep enlightening our people, starting from our children, just as our mother said. We must start. We must start this from our children, telling them our origin. I love this program that you and the WADA used to do every Saturday about religion. And I love our media warriors, especially Methuselah, the one named Melekishedek, and the Biafra Chad, and all of them. Let you people continue. Makanike is from this way that they use to divide and destroy our people, that people from Ijo, we start to looking at people from Igbo side as a different people. But we are the same. We are carrying the same name. We have the same culture. We have one value system. Our leaders have continued to be hammering on this. Now without number complete 4 years. But the brain of our people, I don't know. But it's all right. I'm sure as time goes on, our people is going to understand it. Thank you very much, Mazi, Jonathan Chinedu. May Chukwuka Abiyama continue to bless you people and keep you people and keep your POB together. Thank you.
There will remain blessed too. There will caller on signal. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you, Mazi. Good evening, sir.
There will welcome to the program. Please go on.
Mazi, good evening. First, I will greet our new guest, Mazi, one name Melchizedek, and our sister, Madam Heather, for the good job. And with the liberation Biafra and that. There is something our brother said, Mazi Melchizedek, that we should first of all agree that our forefathers, we all have failed. I totally accept that. I totally agree with that attraction. Because, why do I say so? A lot has happened in our land. Like the topic you're treating, clanism. Yes, as far as you are from Biafra land, clan is who we are. We believe in clan, it's part of our origin. Yes, and even where I come from, we don't even do clan. What we do is equal. Like me, I come from Abba. And we do equal. It's a kind of our own way of unification. You understand? Because all these things are meant to unite people in one umbrella to be able to advance their cause or advance their way of life. That's how it's being created. But, you know, one thing I found out that is the problem, we are even talking of clan. We are talking of clan, but another aspect that we've not looked into is these so-called autonomous communities. You know that this autonomous community today has come to overshadow clan. Clan is no longer something we discuss now in our society because we are home. We know what's happening. You see a community looking for autonomous community under there is a part of the community, part of the clan, but he's not looking for an autonomous community to get his own king. All these things are for selfish gain, personal interest. You see a man will wake up in a community, he's dragging for autonomous community just to get the half. You become an autonomous community, you begin to see your fellow brother as another autonomous community that does not have anything in common. You see, this is the purpose, like our brother said. The thing is having the purpose in which it was created. Understand? Okay, I will say this on air. I have a girlfriend that I'm dating. Now, you know, I was a kind of discussing with her. You know, I want to chip in one or two things to know her mind. I asked her, okay, I want to get married. I want us to, end this relationship in the other way, in marriage. She asked me, that the mother will not do that. Where am I coming from? I said, I come from Marusiku. He said, no matter. I asked her, how did you come about this thought? What happened? Who told you that? Because I don't think they teach you such in school. Yeah, I think, but I'm mayor, let me know that this is a good Biafra, I'll tell you the way it is. Na mayor say that Nanda no Chukwu Ndojo and Agwog. Now they made this thing. Now that takes me to back to what our sister Madam Heather is saying. Teach your children the right thing. Now you see a woman, a mother, who's telling her own daughter that another part of Biafra land, his own people are evil, because he's not even saying that Kano people from the history, Kano people compasses almost all part of Biafra land. It's like part of the origin of Igbo land. But you are beginning to malign, begin to sow that seed of discord in your children, trying to let them know that this other part are bad, this other part are good. This is a problem, because I believe in our Mazi Methuselah, you are an architect, you are an engineer. We believe that before you can put up a structure in a place that has already existing structure, you first of all bring down the existing structure so that you can be able to put up. That's why I go by what our brother is saying. We need enlightenment, awareness, begin to reset our mind, because this thing has eaten deep into the system. It has eaten deep into the fabric of our existence as a people, has done its own. Sometimes I look at it, they say, there's religion, they only. I don't believe in that's me. But it's not only Christianity, even our own traditional way of life has also been balkanized. Because, people now take it for their safety gain. I saw one man called himself, he said he's ego master prophet. He came on Ikenga live program and he was saying how he healed a blind man. He was saying it with impunity, without even considering that he's speaking the word. Ignorance is the highest, and he's even proud of ignorance. But he doesn't know that the word has risen above this sentiment of I can use voodoo power to do this and that. People are not even towards reality. Our people, I must say, we have to go back and from the beginning of our origin, from where we started our journey as a race. Only then we will realize how far we have been left behind by the world. Like, there was something you said on the program, because you're my mentor. You, Mazi Methuselah. I don't have any other person. That's how I listen. You said something about there will be a time when black race will be left behind. It's happening. People are going to the moon, space, to go and discover space, build house, rent house, they're living the planet Earth. But we are still as if we are in the days of Adam and Eve, because we left the way of our ancestors and took the ways of foreigners. Because even when you mention clan is English name, autonomous community is English name. How will you serve the interests of indigenous people that there's something, I'll end by saying this, sorry about it. There's something fella, when he was a graduate interview, he said something, he asked the man, when somebody says that your father laundered money, he looks as if he's a glorifying criminal, he says somebody laundered money. An average English Nigeria will not see that evil something. But when you say your father is holy, that child will be shocked that somebody called my father that money.
He doesn't even understand what people do. They hide under this image to steal away on who we are. And we should learn to understand that